When people hear the phrase financial freedom, the number in their mind is usually enormous. It looks like a mountain with a retirement date at the top. The distance feels so great that the idea becomes either a fantasy or a source of pressure. But freedom does not begin only when you can stop working forever. It begins when money gives you a little more room to choose what happens next month. Imagine opening a door labeled 1 month. Behind it are your housing costs, food, transportation, basic bills, and minimum debt payments. Include insurance, family responsibilities, and a small amount for ordinary life. That total is not your retirement number. It is your monthly freedom number, the amount required to keep your life stable for 1 month, without pretending you would spend nothing. This smaller number is useful because it turns an abstract dream into a unit you can understand. Enough money forever is difficult to picture, but 1 month of choices is concrete. It can mean 1 month to search for a better job, or recover after a difficult period. Refuse an unsafe situation, reduce hours temporarily, or make a decision without immediate panic. The point is not to quit your job impulsively. The point is to see financial freedom as layers of optionality, rather than one dramatic finish line. The first layer may be the ability to handle an unexpected bill. The next may be 1 month of essential expenses, then several months. Each layer adds a little distance between a problem and a desperate reaction. Many people make the calculation too strict. They include only the bare minimum required to survive, as if freedom must look like an emergency bunker. They remove every meal out, every small comfort, every family activity, and every flexible expense. The result is a number that may be mathematically lean, but emotionally unrealistic. If your plan assumes you will become a different human being during a transition, it may not be useful. Others make the number too vague, guessing what they spend and ignoring costs that do not arrive monthly. Annual fees, repairs, medical expenses, school costs, and travel to see family vanish from the picture. Then, the Freedom Fund looks stronger than it really is. A clear number should include the quiet bills that are easy to forget. A simple model is to divide the month into 3 boxes. The first box is must continue, including housing, basic food, essential transportation, and insurance. The second box is keeps life functional, including communication, basic household needs, and health routines. The third box is keeps life human, a modest amount for flexibility, small enjoyment, or unexpected daily needs. Freedom is not only survival, it is the ability to remain stable enough to think clearly. Once you estimate the monthly number, you can measure savings in months. It is better to measure in time rather than only in currency. A pile of money can feel emotionally meaningless because the number has no role, but this represents 2 months of stable choices, which is easier to understand. The money becomes time stored in a jar. This changes the purpose of saving. You are building a buffer against pressure. 1 month may allow you to say no to a bad contract. 2 months may let you leave a role after careful planning. Several months may support retraining or a move. The same amount of money feels different when translated into time and options. There is also a psychological shift. Every conflict feels like a threat to survival. Every unexpected expense can feel like proof that you are failing. When a small runway exists, the nervous system stops treating everything as an emergency. Money cannot remove uncertainty, but it can slow the clock for better decisions. A common mistake is to compare your freedom number with someone else's. A person living alone has a different structure from someone supporting children or parents. Someone with medical needs has a different baseline from someone without them. Freedom is not a universal badge. It is a relationship between resources and choices. Another mistake is to wait until the full target is available to see progress. If your monthly number is clear, every portion of it has meaning. Half a month is not the final goal, but it is more room than 0. Progress is a growing strip on a calendar rather than a finish line. You can begin with 3 practical steps. Look at recent months to find an average. Do not use your best month as the standard for your calculation. Include a portion of irregular yearly costs, so they do not surprise you. Choose a first runway target that feels relevant, perhaps just 1 month. The purpose is clarity, not perfection. As the number becomes clearer, notice which costs reduce your freedom the most. A recurring obligation is not just an expense, it is a barrier to choice. This does not mean every recurring cost is bad or unnecessary. Housing, care, and useful services may be deeply valuable to you, but seeing their effect helps you decide which commitments deserve a place in your life. Financial freedom is often sold as an image of never working again. For many people, a more useful first image is a chair placed between two doors. One door is the current situation. The other is a better option. The chair represents enough time to sit down, breathe, and choose. Instead of being pushed through the nearest exit, you can also use the number to evaluate new commitments. Before adding a permanent payment, translate it into freedom time. A recurring cost does not only remove money each month, it increases the amount required to support every future month. This does not make the commitment wrong. A home, education, or care responsibility, or a useful service may be worth the cost. The translation simply makes the trade-off visible. You are not asking whether the purchase is cheap or expensive in isolation. You are asking how much larger it makes the door marked 1 stable month. So do not begin by asking, what impossible amount would let me retire forever? Begin with a smaller, sharper question. What does 1 stable month of my real life cost? That number will not solve everything, but it gives freedom a shape. And once freedom has a shape, you can begin building it 1 month at a time.